stepfather, who I grew up with, was a stuntman / actor, but basically.
There are some performers who don't just act. They live through every line, every emotion, and every story they tell. Sally Field is one of them. For more than 50 years, she's made us laugh, cry, and see ourselves on screen in ways few others ever could. From Gidget to Norma Rae, from Steel Magnolias to Forrest Gump, she gave everything she had: heart, soul, and honesty. But now, whispers are circulating that one of Hollywood's most beloved icons has quietly stepped away from the spotlight. Fans are worried about her health, her future, and what lies ahead for the woman who once embodied the very spirit of strength and resilience. This is the story of Sally Field, her pain, her triumphs, her fight for self-worth, and her ongoing battle to simply live life on her own terms. Early life, a shining smile. Hiding a storm. Sally Field was born on November 6, 1946 in Pasadena, California, the daughter of a pharmacist father, Richard Field, and a mother, Margaret, who was an actress herself. From the outside, she looked like the picture of an all-American girl, bright, bubbly, and ambitious. But behind that innocent smile was a childhood marked by heartbreak and confusion. Her parents divorced when she was young, and her mother remarried actor and stuntman Jock Mahoney. Sally later revealed that her relationship with her stepfather left deep scars, a painful burden she carried into adulthood. While she found comfort in school activities like cheerleading and acting, home life was complicated. Sally learned early to survive by pretending everything was fine. What she didn't yet realize was that this same instinct, the ability to feel deeply and channel pain into performance, would one day make her one of the most emotionally powerful actresses of her generation. Breaking into Hollywood, the girl next door, who wouldn't stay there. In the 1960s, Sally Field burst onto TV screens as Gidget, a cheerful California teenager full of optimism and mischief. The show lasted just one season, but it introduced the world to her charm. Next came The Flying Nun, which made her a household name but also left her feeling trapped. Behind the cheerful wings of Sister Bertrille, she was desperate to prove she could do more. Hollywood in the 1970s wasn't kind to young actresses trying to escape typecasting. Sally wanted roles with substance, but producers saw her as the cute girl. She refused to accept that limitation. After studying acting seriously under the legendary Lee Strasberg, she landed the TV movie Sybil, 1976, playing a woman with multiple personalities. It was a turning point and a revelation. Her raw, haunting performance earned her an Emmy and proved to everyone that she wasn't just a sitcom star. She was a serious actress, one who could break hearts and make history. Stardom and the Oscar years. After Sybil, the world saw Sally Field in a whole new light. In 1979, she starred in Norma Rae, portraying a textile worker who fights for union rights. The performance was fierce, heartfelt, and deeply human, earning her first Academy Award for Best Actress. 5 years later, she won another Oscar for Places in the Heart, 1984, sealing her reputation as one of Hollywood's finest. Audiences loved her because she was real. She wasn't glamorous in a distant way. She was every woman who had ever struggled, loved, and refused to give up. In films like Steel Magnolias, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Forrest Gump, she brought warmth and strength to every scene. Her performances were not about pretending. They were about feeling, love, loss, and lessons. Sally's personal life was as complex as any movie script. She married her high school sweetheart Stephen Craig in 1968, and they had 2 sons, Peter and Eli. But fame, pressure, and emotional distance took their toll, and they divorced in 1975. Then came her passionate but turbulent romance with Burt Reynolds. They met while filming Smokey and the Bandit, 1977, and their chemistry was electric both on and off screen. But the relationship was rocky, full of highs and heartbreak. Years later, Reynolds called her the one that got away, but Sally saw things differently. "He wasn't good for me," she said honestly. "He was controlling, and I lost parts of myself trying to please him." She eventually found steadier ground with producer Alan Greisman, whom she married in 1984. They had a son, Sam, but even that marriage ended after 9 years. Through it all, Sally never gave up on love, but she learned to prioritize peace over passion. Today, she says she's happy being single, focused on her children and her own well-being. Strength born from pain. Sally's openness about her past, from personal trauma to failed relationships, wasn't about shock value. It was about truth. In her 2018 memoir, In Pieces, she shared the painful details of her early life and the difficult experiences she endured in Hollywood. For many fans, her honesty was healing. Sally's willingness to speak about trauma and survival made her not just a Hollywood legend, but a voice for countless women who had been silent for too long. By the time she reached her 60s, Sally had turned her pain into purpose. She used her platform to advocate for women's rights, reproductive freedom, and equality. She was no longer just an actress. She was an activist, standing firmly in her truth. Aging gracefully and the courage to be real. In a town obsessed with youth and perfection, Sally Field has done something radical. She's embraced time. In interviews, she said she refuses to erase the lines on her face or hide her gray hair. "This is me," she said. "I earned every wrinkle." While cruel online comments have occasionally targeted her appearance, Sally has met them with quiet dignity. She understands that beauty is not measured in filters or surgery. It's measured in authenticity. Her courage to age naturally, to let herself be seen as she truly is, has inspired millions who see in her a reflection of their own journey through life. A slower pace, a simpler life. Today, Sally Field lives quietly in Los Angeles. She spends her days walking her dog, Dash, gardening, reading, and enjoying time with her children and grandchildren. Her appearances are rare, but when she does speak, she uses her platform for good, urging people to vote, supporting women's rights, and advocating for compassion in public discourse. Though her acting roles have slowed down, she continues to choose meaningful projects, like the heartwarming 80 for Brady in 2023, where she proves she can still light up the screen with humor and heart. Sally has nothing left to prove. She's done the work, earned the accolades, and built a legacy that will outlive any rumor or headline. Legacy. The woman who never stopped fighting. Sally Field's story isn't just about Hollywood success, it's about endurance. She overcame a painful past, faced down sexism, survived heartbreak, and confronted illness with courage. Through it all, she stayed true to herself. She reminds us that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's a quiet kind of bravery, the kind that keeps showing up year after year with honesty and heart. When she stood on the Oscar stage and said, "You like me, right now, you like me," it wasn't vanity, it was relief. The pure, unfiltered gratitude of a woman who had fought her whole life to be seen and respected for who she truly was. Conclusion: the quiet power of Sally Field. At 78, Sally Field remains one of Hollywood's most enduring spirits. She may no longer chase fame, but her impact continues to ripple across generations of actors and audiences. She's living proof that resilience, kindness, and authenticity never go out of style. She once said, "I've learned that love doesn't come from others telling you who you are. It comes from knowing it yourself." That's the wisdom of a woman who's lived fully, who's loved, lost, fallen, risen, and finally found peace. And that's Sally Field, a living legend who taught us that real beauty is not in perfection, but in perseverance.